Something a little bit different, and that's kind of exciting for me since well, we're going to be doing something different today. So that is, we're going to turn Jeff Moss's Sargent lock into, which, by the way, I'll show you the key. We're going to turn Jeff Moss's Sargent lock into a dimple lock. And so, just to show you, I've done it on some other locks. You can also do it on some Yales. See, this one I did on a Yale lock cylinder. There's the key for it. I don't think I did a video on this. There's the Yale dimple lock that I made. Here's the very first dimple lock I've ever made, and that was the Wiser. Just to show you the Wiser key. You can make it on the Wiser. And I even did it on a aftermarket Sargent LA keyway cylinder. So, yeah. In this video, I'm not going to be picking a lock, which is kind of unfortunate, but, like I said, I'm going to do something differently, and I'm going to teach you guys how you can make one of these locks yourself at home. So, I hope you enjoy this video, and please stay tuned for the next part. Hi guys, sorry, I don't have a tripod, so I'm going to have to hold this with my hands, but anyhow, this is the wonderful Sargent OEM key and knob, or actually key and lever cylinder. The reason why it's a key and lever is because of the way the tailpiece is oriented. But anyhow, if you take a look, what I did was I disassembled it, and I'm planning to make a dimple lock out of it. So anyhow, before I talk about the dimple lock and everything, I'm going to show you everything is there. You see, these are balanced driver pins, which is pretty normal with Sargent locks. These are some ball bearings I might use inside of Jeff's lock. Then he sent me really nice Sargent LA original key blanks, as well as the 2 original keys. And so, yeah. Anyhow, to make this lock into a dimple lock, show you. This is one that I did before. Here's what the lock looks like, and there's the key. So I did a video on this a while back. I'm not going to do another video on this because of the fact that I already did and it would be redundant. The key for this works really nicely, and you can see it worked out quite well, and I'm really happy about it. But only one problem, and that was the key is a little stiff. So that's why I got these ball bearings. So if they fit inside of the Sargent lock, I will definitely put them in, but if they don't fit, then unfortunately I will not be able to fit it in, but still I will try my best to get the key to work extremely smoothly. So anyhow, to make a dimple lock, what you'll need is this. Now this is another random key and knob cylinder housing. Now this one was for another lock, and the springs inside were damaged and everything. You know, the lock wasn't really usable anymore, but the housing was good, so I took the actual plug out and I milled the bottom, took off the cover strip, and what I found was that the spacing on the Sargent plug matches up perfectly with this housing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the key blank in, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it sideways so that you see this piece of the milling. If I can get some thing to have this focus on. See, there's this top part of the milling. That area I'm going to use for cutting dimples into the key. And I have a dimple key cutting machine, so I won't have any problems with that. So basically the way it's going to work is I'm going to put this inside of the vise, which is going to squeeze the plug until it can't move anymore. Then I will go on the top, and then I will start drilling holes. So the first thing that I would do is that I would use a 7/64 of an inch diameter drill bit, just to begin with, just to drill through it, and then I'll just go to a 1/8. That's what I usually do, but normally for brass cylinders I don't really need to go with a 7/64. I can always just go straight down with a 1/8. It's smoother that way. So yeah, anyhow, In the next part of the video, I will be showing you how to clamp this up and how to make everything work nicely, and how I will be drilling the chambers. So see you in the next video, or next part of the video, and you'll see me drilling holes in the chambers. So or drilling new chambers. So yeah, thanks for watching this part, and stay tuned for the next one. So, pardon the music behind, it helps me concentrate, but anyhow, so this is Jeff's Sargent lock, and like I said, I was going to modify it. So, the first thing to do is, of course, to, like I said, get this housing, just any housing, any old housing, just as long as it has the same spacing as the lock you want to modify, otherwise it wouldn't work. So what I did was that I turned it sideways, I turned the plug sideways, and stick the key blank in there. And what you want to do is you just want to clamp this down until it's really nice and tight. Make sure it's straight, by the way. You want to make it as straight as possible, but it's not particularly a crucial thing to do, but it's definitely something that'll help. So the next thing is, when you clamp this down, actually, you have to make sure that your plug is all the way in and touching the Bible. If you do not do that, the spacing will be completely wonky and you will completely ruin your lock. Well, you wouldn't really ruin it, you would just, I don't know, you would just make it really weird. You can always, you know, use the holes for like passive pins or something like that. But anyhow, we're gonna actually want to start drilling. But before I even start to do that, it's a good idea to have a piece of paper like me on the floor, just so that when you drill holes, the metal shavings, you know, they stay on the paper, and it's a lot easier to clean up. Definitely something that helps a lot, since last time I didn't do that, my mom almost killed me because of the fact that I left a huge mess on the floor. And anyhow, that's basically what you need before drilling. And before I actually drill, I will cut this video and I will show you guys what you need. Guys, so this part I'm just going to talk about how to drill this cylinder. So like I said, you need a housing, and so the first thing you can do, I'm just going to do this like you know, the best way to do it, of course, would be to use a drill press, but in this case we don't really need a drill press, and let's just say we don't have a drill press. So the first thing I would like to do is that, the first thing I would do actually is, you take a look over here. Of course, like I said, you would want to have the cylinder and the plug inside of the Bible, and make sure it's exactly where you want it to be. So that means the plug has to be all the way into the Bible, not anywhere out. It can't be sticking out at all. Another thing is, you want this to be exactly where you want to be. If you jostle this a little bit, you will have messed up holes and the tolerances will be really poor. So the first thing to do is to, of course, do that, and the second thing would be to stick the key blank inside. I'd recommend using the key blank because this would actually prevent you from drilling too far. Then you take a 1/8 inch drill bit, and very carefully, without drilling a hole in your hand, drill into the plug. So this one you don't need to push, you just let the drill do the work. Because after all, this is only brass. And usually you will feel it when it actually goes through. You'll see it go through, actually. After drilling for a bit, you want to take the drill bit out and just make sure that everything is still properly aligned. Sometimes it is a good idea to take away some metal shavings. So I'm gonna stick this back in. Then we're gonna drill in. Again, you don't need to push. Okay, as you can see, what happened was that the drill bit actually jerked the lock a little bit. That means that we have made our way through. So what you do is you start the drill and you pull the drill bit out. You don't want to go any further just yet. and you'll notice that it'll actually make a mark in the key. And so what you do is you take the Bible, turn it upside down, make sure all of the shavings are dumped, and what you'll notice is that we have a very, very cleanly drilled chamber. I don't know if you can see that. Show you. There's the chamber. So yeah, you might need to clean it up a little bit with the 1/8 inch drill bit, but other than that, that's really all you need to do. And in the next part of the video, I will I'll discuss the next step. So let me just cut the video, and I'll talk about what to do in the next part. Okay, so in this part of the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the key. So actually before that, we have to select the right size pins. So as you can tell, these are the pins. And so what you want to do is that you want to select pins that aren't too long, because of the fact that if it's too long and you cut the key, you'll cut a hole through the key, and that won't be very good. So anyway, as you can tell, these are the pins that I've selected. And so first thing we're going to do is, because of the fact that we have the key blank and the lock when we draw the chambers, I don't know if you can see this very well, but we have marks. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use our dimple key machine. You can always just use your use a drill press, or just a hand drill would work too. But for mine, I just like to use my dimple key machine. And so what you want to do is you just want to basically cut the key until all the pins align. And so as you can tell, if you take a look carefully, pins number 1, 2, and 4 aren't really very well aligned, or very nicely aligned. So we're going to cut those. And so we're going to do that. First thing I want to do is I want to just lock the table locking knob, so this way it only moves in the x-axis. And so then we can start our machine. And then you want to make sure that you know which cut you're making. So one thing that I like to do actually is that I like to just align the cutter directly on where the mark is, and then afterwards lift it back up and then start. So this way you get a steady starting position. And you don't want to drill too much at the time. Just want to drill a bit. And when I'm done with this key, I will start the camera again, and I will show you guys what's going on. Alright guys, so now we've cut the key. So as you can tell, we've cut it properly. So now our key will turn, all the pins align and everything. And over here for the standard pin tumbler chambers, what you want to do is you want to take a 0 pin, just so that this way they'll act like passive pins, and also this is also just to prevent the driver pins from falling into the holes and causing lock to fail. So anyway, there's that lock. So this is what we have here. So sorry I didn't show you guys how to make the security pins. I'll probably show you in another video, but these are the pins that I'm going to be putting inside of the lock. So there it is. And so I'm just going to put this lock back together, and in the next part of the video I will show you guys what it's going to be like when it's put back together. Thanks. Alright guys, so we have finally come to the end of the video, and I'm sure you guys, and especially Jeff Moss, is probably quite excited. So this is the completed key. So I'm going to show you that by getting some better light on it. This is what the key looks like right now. See that? See if I can zoom in on it. This is what the key looks like right now. And because Jeff sent me 2 original Sargent key blanks, got the other one and I duplicated it onto the other key blank, and if the camera will focus, that's what the key looks like. So here's the lock, by the way. That's what the lock looks like. It just basically looks like a Sargent key knob cylinder that's turned sideways. So that is essentially what it is. And so I polished the key a little bit using some toothpaste, and I don't know if you can see this well enough, but I also used a scribe. So these are not very expensive, they're quite cheap actually. They're nice, just a scribe. So it's just, what I did was I used it like a pencil basically, and I carved out Jeff Moss's name on it. My writing's not the best, but there you go. So yeah, just to show you, by the way, that the key does indeed work. So just show you, get this stuff out of the way. To show you the key does indeed work, and so I worked really hard to try to get the key to work smoothly. Unfortunately, I did not get the chance to put the ball bearings in since the holes were a little too big, or sorry, the ball bearings were too small, so that's why it would just get lost in the keyway and would jam up the lock, which makes it worse. So I just modified the lock so that this way the key would work really well. So yeah, just to show you. It's also kind of tricky trying to get it into the keyway, but there you go. It turns extremely smoothly. There's this, that's the first one, and there's the second one. Just to show you, the key works really smoothly too. So yeah, so this lock is really nice. I really like it. I kind of want to keep it, but it's not mine, and I gotta send it back to Jeff Moss. So yeah, Jeff Moss, if you're watching this video, I will be sending this back to you, and I'll probably add some other locks that I modified in the package. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you would like to comment on my video, feel free to do that. Please subscribe to my channel. Keep your picking legal, please. And also, if you haven't already, go ahead and check out Jeff Moss's channel. He's got some really awesome videos on some really awesome and cool stuff. So go ahead and show him some love and subscribe to his channel. So thanks for watching, and thank you, Jeff Moss, for sending me a whole ton of locks, and also the opportunity to modify this lock into a dimple lock. So yeah, alright, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.